Hello, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel BrushItUp. Today's video is an art vlog, and in this video, I'm going to be making two acrylic landscape paintings, and later on, there is one more gouache painting that I'm making, and one more acrylic painting that I have the process of which I haven't recorded. So this video is going to be about that, and it is going to be about two this thing one series that I watched like over the past month, and a movie that I saw. So I'm going to be talking about those two this thing series, one series and the movie. So it is going to be like a review kind of a video, and it is going to be about the process of my painting. So let's get into the video. So this particular painting that I'm making right now in the video is an acrylic painting, and actually when I started my art journey, I was most fascinated and most inspired by all these acrylic landscape, like forest landscape that they make. I used to love that, and always used to admire and used to think like, how do they make these? I mean, these look so realistic, and do they sketch these and then they paint it, or do they just start painting on the canvas? How does one go about this? And I used to think, if they directly start with the paint, I don't know whether I'll be able to do it, because I don't know what the process is, what color do you first put, and how do you build up. Because if you see these paintings, paintings have layers on them, right? First layer is of a certain color, and then second layer is of certain color. So there are these videos that you will find. I think you can find on any platform. If you have these platforms such as Pinterest and TikTok available in your country, like in India there's no TikTok but there's Pinterest, so there you'll find such small videos of artists which they have created a tutorial. So I find these videos on Pinterest which are barely like 1 minute videos, like 59 seconds, 46 seconds or something like that, and in which the entire process is shown of which how they made. So this painting is from one of those videos, and I'll link the Pinterest video link in the description down. So if you want to also make and learn the process, because you only learn if you follow the process, right? You only learn by doing. So that is how I have learned this. So I continuously pause that video, stop, restart that video, pause that video, restart that video, and sometimes I just pause at a certain stage of that painting and just try to imitate whatever is painted. That is how you learn. So what I have observed and learned so far, there is so much more to learn. If you follow a tutorial, you just don't blindly follow it, you understand it. While you're doing it, you have to understand. So I still have a lot to understand and a lot to a lot to unpack, so that I understand, okay, why did this person did this particular thing in this painting, and why didn't they do that in the other painting. So if you know Bob Ross, if you have followed Bob Ross tutorials, this is something like that only. So the way you follow a Bob Ross tutorial, this is something very close to that. But Bob Ross tutorials are generally, actually you can definitely follow Bob Ross tutorials. That is how I started, that is how I got into this thing of understanding how do you make a landscape painting. And I actually forgot to record, or I got so much into the painting that I forgot to record the later part. So that's the finished painting on this side, and I'm starting up with another one because I just wanted to practice. It was like I took a long break from this kind of painting. I was doing other stuff, so I want to get back at, and I didn't want to forget the entire process, because if you don't do it for a very long time, the chances are you will completely forget about it, and it is difficult. The longer you don't do it, the longer it is for you to get back into it. So I just wanted to get back into it, and that is why I decided to do two of these paintings on one page. So this is the second one. And yes, so I was saying, yeah, you can definitely follow a Bob Ross if you don't find this 56 seconds videos and all of that. I'll just give the link of the second one as well. It's just a 56 barely a minute video, in which it is a fast forward video of a painter's painting that I don't remember the artist, but if the artist is mentioned in the video, you will definitely find the name and everything. And so yes, so this helps. What I have understood from these videos is, they basically lay down a rough sketch. Like in some of them, they lay down a rough sketch as to place where the mountains are going to be, where the trees are going to be, where the waterfall is going to, whatever other elements in your painting, they'll put a rough this thing on the board. Or sometimes they even don't do that. Like in the first one you saw, I didn't do it. In the second one, I'm doing it. That is how the actual artist or the painter who painted it did it. So I'm just following his or her process. So yes, so usually what happens is, but what is common in both of them, or rather what is common in all of them, it always starts with painting the farthest object or the farthest thing in the painting. For example, in the first painting, it was the background forest, or the background trees, and the the tree life or the forest life that was there in the background. And then there was a waterfall that was happening later on that forest life that existed. So that was painted before, and then it was painted. So in the second one, it's the sky which is the farthest, so that is being painted first. So it starts from painting the farthest objects first, and then you come closer, as the stage progresses, and you layer on it. So you just don't, if the sky is going to, in the finished product, the sky is going to be seen, for example, on the on just the quarter part of your page, you mostly paint more than a quarter. So it is like layering. So you will layer a bit, you paint a bit more, and then layer a hill on top of it. So it gives kind of a 3D effect, not exactly though, but it feels more realistic that way. So that is what I have learned. And you definitely use different kinds of brushes. You don't get lazy if you're using just one brush. There are certain times when we just get so much into the painting that we forget to change the brush. But changing the brush definitely helps. Mixing colors, and if you follow the Bob Ross's thing, he'll always mix a little bit of red in the blue. If you want to put a blue on the page, a little bit of green in the red if you're painting. But that just brings the painting together. And also there's this one YouTuber, if you are into painting and fine art, everybody knows it, Matthew Sorgi. I was watching his video, and one thing I recall him saying is, if you use a certain color in your painting, you should never use one color just once in one place in your painting. You should use it somewhere else as well. That is how the painting comes together. That is how it just doesn't seems the color doesn't stand out. It doesn't seem odd on your canvas. It seems like it has come together. So that is the way. And I love acrylic painting. I love it. It's just about, I don't like about the medium is it dries very quickly, and a lot of paint gets wasted, though I make sure that it doesn't get wasted. Like if I take a brown, if I make a brown, I make sure I put the brown down wherever I want the browns to be, for example now in this case. But if you're following someone's process, then you have to follow the process, and sometimes you make the brown, then the brown gets dries up, then you again make the brown. So I hate wasting colors. Like I have seen painters not throwing any kind of shade, but I've seen painters using big thick amount of paints and just putting it on the canvas and like creating like a sculpting kind of a thing, but with paints. But I just can't do it. Like I am a very what do you call, not a cheap person, but I hate wasting paints or anything, wasting food or wasting paint, especially paints. Actually, it just, even when the paint dries up in the bottle itself or in the tube itself, I just feel so bad, like it got wasted. I sometimes just, if some paints remain and it's still wet, and if I've finished my painting, I sometimes just paint it on a page. It gives me a lot of relief that it didn't go to waste. So that is what I don't like about this medium, that it dries very quickly, and it is also not a very smooth medium. It takes a while to take it out of the tube or take it out of the whatever. It's not in the cake form. Like for example, watercolors are in the cake form, so you are just, it's right there, just add water to it and you can mix it. But this, you have to remove it, then mix it, and add not a lot of water or less water. So it is a bit, but the effect it gives, I think I love it. I have never painted with oils. I actually have heard that oil, you need a good ventilated room to paint with oils, and I have sinuses and everything, so I avoid painting with oils. So but I have tried acrylic and I have tried water. I love them both for their whatever, pros and cons. And but I started with, I think I started no, I started with both. I think like one day I used to do acrylic, other day I used to do watercolors. The most recent medium that I'm working with is gouache. Gouache I like, but it is a bit chalky. So it is somewhere between acrylic and watercolors. But it doesn't give me the satisfaction of watercolors, and it doesn't give that finish of acrylic. So but it's good in its own way. I have to still understand that medium a bit. Next painting is going to be about gouache. So if you would have seen, we have come from behind, right, from the top of the page to the bottom of the page, and that is how the things come closer. Like the bottom of the page is the most nearest part. Actually, I am kind of learning it right now. Yes, if you click a photo, the bottom of that photo is generally, in most cases, correct me if I'm wrong, is the most nearest object in your painting. So that is how you do this. And I liked how both turned out. They were quite smooth, and my generally, the color palette in the acrylic paintings that I make is ends up being kind of similar. So I am trying to change my color palette a bit, because changing the color palette, and even if the elements in the elements, for example, element is nature, if it still remains the same, but if you change the color palette, it really helps. It helps you to understand this thing. I wish this kind of realistically I could make it, like if the beautiful view, that is my dream. Like I have a beautiful view in front of me, and I'm able to execute at least this much, as much I have executed from following a tutorial. And I think next painting is going to be from I'll talk about it when we get there. Let's talk. This is the most satisfying part, like removing the scotch tape. It's like, oh my god, it's the most satisfying part to watch. Also, it gives you so much this thing that you're done with it finally, and the clean white that comes off. It's very satisfying. And I also want to talk about the series and this thing, what the movie that I watched over the last month or past few weeks. I watched Queen Charlotte, the Bridgerton spin-off, or a Bridgerton's uh, yeah, Bridgerton's spin-off. It's really a nice series. Like, it has a very realistic this thing. I don't know why I'm using realistic again and again, but it's a true, it seems like a true story, and it is based on a true story. So the I don't want to give any spoilers, but you really need to watch it. It feels like, or how people experience love stories in real life, it seems very close to that. And the actors, they have beautifully acted. And this is the Queen Shah. I love the animation part that they have put in the beginning, and I love the music track also that it has. And I also watch the Amazing Spider-Man multiverse, Spider-Man Across the Multiverse. It's a beautiful, amazing storyline, amazing animation. Like, there was a certain trend that was being followed in the animation industry after Toy Story came, after Inside Out came, and I think this movie is also going to set a trend. Like, it just, the way artists paint, right, the way artists make animated worlds, and they have just stuck to that they are not trying to make it realistic. Like, if you see this particular movie's first part, it is quite realistic. In this, they have just ditched it. Also, they had this leeway that they were trying to show a multiverse. So the idea of a multiverse is completely fictional, right? Like, it does exist, but no one has seen it. So we can literally develop it out of, like, we can literally put our imaginations to it, and consider that imagination as like a ground of understanding how a multiverse would be. So it is just beautiful. Like, every Spider-Man's world, the way it is shown, the way the emotions are shown in that world, and the way that universe operates, it just and the animation that they have shown, the background that they have just put it so, I don't know the word, they used a certain word, graphical or sketchy or artsy, kind of a thing. I just loved the animation in the movie, and I loved the story. The story is very heavy, and is going to come up with the third part, and I'm definitely going to watch it, not only for the sake of the excellent animation and the way, like, an artist just sticks to its guts, like, doesn't create art with an understanding what the audiences want, not creating for the audience, but creating that this is a good thing. I know I create art every single day, this is what I know, this is how it looks good. I know this might not be selling right now, but this is a good, like, this is a beautiful thing, and I know in my gut it is. And producers believing in those artists and letting them do what they felt was right, and then it turning out to be an excellent this thing. I think now this is going to be a trend, and I really don't mind it being a trend, because I was so bored. Not that, I don't want to say that, but this is kind of a new thing. You always want nuances, right? So, and I really like this type of graphical animation, like artsy kind of, I don't know the word is not coming to my mind, but you should definitely go and watch if you are into animation, if you're not only animation, if you're into a good sci-fi genre, and if you're looking for a change, you should definitely. And if you're a Marvel fan, you must have already watched it. So yeah, Queen Charlotte was amazing. Queen Charlotte has those European this thing, and like, they have just put a spin on black history, and I really like it. And how love is not just it's not just happy moments, but it is also struggles. And the queen is shown so amazingly powerful, and she doesn't apologize for the choices she make. Even later on, when we see her in the Bridgerton series and the Bridgerton world, she doesn't apologize for the things that she has done and for existing and whatever, and she doesn't feel sorry. And it her character in her youth all is also the actor that has portrayed it, she has done a beautiful job. You should definitely watch it. And this is the gouache medium. I don't find uh, difficult is like in both the mediums. Gouache, it's not a, maybe the portion of water and this thing I'm still getting understanding how much water and how much paint has to come, but here you can see the paint literally drying up. Like the page though I have put like a starting code, I don't know how much that helps with this particular page or with this particular type of paper and all of that. But yeah, I liked making this. I struggled a lot while making this. Halfway I was like, this is not going to turn up that great. I don't want to do it. And remember this day when I was painting this painting, I did like eat very late because I was frustrated. I just wanted to get it over with, and I spent a lot of time making it, and it didn't look that great, and I was hating myself. Like I spent so many hours at this, and look at what it has turned out to be. But I stuck to it, and I'm happy that I stuck to it because the finished product wasn't that bad. Like it is a good product. And like I you some you know we are excited at the beginning of the painting, then in the middle you have a lot of self-doubt, then later on when you see a certain stage and it is not looking the way you thought it would in your mind, it will like you want to give up. You don't give up, you stick through it. There is a lot of self-doubt that goes into a painting, and many a times when there's a lot of self-doubt that is happening, many a times the painting turns out to be very very great. So this painting, I'm not saying turned out to be that great, but whenever I've struggled a lot with a painting, that painting has turned out to be great on average. And sometimes when you are very happy with the paint, like in the process of it, and the end result is not great. So I know it's just funny, but when there's a lot of struggle, so this is the end product. I liked the top right corner houses. I really like. I want to make a landscape of those houses. That's why I love the sky. I love. So I have added a bonus painting, the process of which I've not recorded, but I really like the color palette that I've used here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like, share, and subscribe. Put your messages in the comment section down below, and I'll reply to them. Thanks for watching. Bye.